How's it going, guys? Andy here. Happy New Year and welcome back to year 12 of the Wholesale Help YouTube channel. I hope you had a great break over the holidays and you're looking to get stuck into 2020. I know I am, so let's kick things off with a review of AMZ Scout, the Amazon data analytics tool. This is following on from my private label series of videos where I'm explaining all the parts in the process of finding, buying and listing a private label product. If you want to uncover profitable private label products, you simply can't do it without analytics tools these days. If you don't use one, you're relying on dumb luck, quite frankly. You're flying blind and it just ain't gonna work. These tools harness real-time Amazon sales and analytics data to tell you exactly what's happening in the marketplaces, in the niches, and in the individual listings. You can clear away all the unnecessary noise. You can hone in on exactly what you're looking for and uncover the type of products and listings that have the most profit, the least competition and the most demand, and ultimately that's what we're looking for. And that's a hell of a job if you're going to try and do that manually. It's just simply impossible. So when it comes to investing in your business, I always say go for quality and go for the things that have a direct impact in your business. And in this case, when it comes to private label, you need one of these tools, and I think AMZ Scout does the job very well indeed. So in this video, I'm going to go through a step-by-step review. I'm going to show you how all the tools work, give you a bit of a tutorial and show you what I like about it, how it works. And if you want to get yourself access to this tool, hang around to the end and I will explain how you can get an additional $20 off only here on this video. So before we get into the details of the tutorial, you might be asking yourself, why, Andy, are you talking about private label? Your main subject is wholesale and sometimes online arbitrage. Well, the answer is diversification. Selling on Amazon is a good idea. Online arbitrage is a good idea. Wholesale is a good idea. Private label is a good idea. It's all selling on Amazon. There are different techniques, there's different strategies, but one thing is always very clear. If for whatever reason chaos plays its part and you are unable to sell that particular line that's doing really, really well for you, what you don't want to be doing is losing a third or a half of your income because you're reliant on some of the most successful parts of your business. If you diversify your business and have different income streams in different areas, not only does that increase your profit, but it also spreads the risk of any issues happening as a result. So if you're an online arbitrage seller, then looking at wholesale is a very good idea. If you sell in wholesale, maybe looking at private label is a good idea. The more strings you have to your bow, the more profit and the safer you will be because you have your income diversified across several areas. And let's face it, you already know half the information. You know how Amazon works. You know how to use the Amazon website. So you're halfway there. You're just learning a different front-end process to get ultimately into selling products on Amazon. So I think it's a good idea, and I thought to give you a different view on things and to show you a different way of selling on Amazon is always going to be helpful. So if you find these video tutorials useful, give me a thumbs up and it will let me know that you want to see more of this sort of thing, and obviously I'll be happy to do so. Let me know in the comments what you think. As usual, if you've got any questions, hit me up. Always happy to help. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this review of AMZ Scout. Alrighty, so here we are over at AMZ Scout, and what I want to do first is give you a very quick overview of the tools, what they do, and then I want to show you it working and give you a bit of a tutorial and some information about how you can really get the best out of this software. So to start with, I'm just going to run through the main benefits of this type of tool. So here's what you can do with AMZ Scout. This is a good place to start. Find a profitable product to sell. That pretty much goes without saying. You can get estimated revenue figures for any Amazon product on the database, so you can make sure the products you are choosing are going to be profitable. You can identify growing trends. This is really cool. You can actually see from the data when something is growing and getting more popular, and if you identify a growing niche and marketplace before it becomes mainstream, then you have the opportunity of getting in first, getting that first mover advantage. Obviously you'll have loads less competition. And then even when the competition does move in, if you've already got a ton of reviews and good feedback on that listing, you're going to have a massive advantage in keeping your place in that particular niche. So a big deal. You can verify your niche idea. If you've got an idea of a niche and a marketplace you want to get into, you can actually confirm that the demand is there. There's enough profit in the products, and just get that peace of mind before you go investing and developing the products and bringing it in from overseas. You can get that peace of mind that the idea that you have is actually going to pay off for you. Spy on other sellers. This is a really cool thing. You can actually put in other sellers' ASINs into the search and find out all about their products and get all the keywords they're using on their items. You can find that information out, and so you can make sure that your listings are as good as they can possibly be by knowing all the keywords your competition are using to get up there on the search. You can calculate your profit and fees, which is obviously really important to make sure you know what your net profit is before you start buying a product, and predict future competition. This is interesting. You can actually see how many sellers are looking into the given niche that you're looking into as well. So this is a really interesting idea to see how much potential competition there might be in the future. So the pricing is $44.99 a month in dollars, $199 for a lifetime membership. I quite like these lifetime gigs because a lot of the time you can end up spending a lot of money on tools that regularly rebill every single month. If you end up with half a dozen or a dozen different tools, then that can really add up. So if there is a reasonably priced lifetime option, I quite often consider it for that reason. Within 4 or 5 months, it's caught up with itself, and then it's free from there onwards. And so if you're looking at making private label a decent part of your business, then it makes sense to invest in something like this. And certainly I do like the lifetime options. All right, so if we log into the main AMZ Scout dashboard, you're going to have your menu in the top left. Here we've got the product database. This is the main research platform where you're going to look through millions of Amazon products. That's going to give you all the information you need. You've got a product tracker, which I'll tell you more about later. It's almost like your favorites list. You can keep track of ideas and items and go back and see how they're getting on later. It's a useful way to organize your searches and your research. You've got the Keyword Explorer, which is going to help you when you put your listings together, and so you can discover the relevant keywords for your particular niche. And then your product keywords. This is really handy. You can actually search your competitor's listing, put in your competitor's ASIN, for example. It's going to tell you all the keywords that they're using on that listing, so your listings will be as optimized as possible. Then you've got the AMZ Scout Pro Chrome extension, which is a separately sold option, and I will go through that as well in a minute. But let's start off over here. We've got the product database, and before we get into that, I think the best way to do a search, unless you have a specific niche in mind and you want to start researching that niche and researching products within that niche, if you don't have something in mind, the best way to do that is start very broad, tell the software what you don't want, and then let the data tell you where to go. So we would do that by making use of the categories, and rather than selecting some, I like to deselect them. So you can actually select them all here and then just look through and spend a bit of time thinking, is this going to be an appropriate category? So by doing this, we can isolate only the categories that are going to be relevant to us. For example, Alexa skills, no use whatsoever for private label, as is Amazon Pantry, no good. Grocery, all this sort of food related stuff, it's not going to be appropriate for importing stuff from another country. Kindle store, anything like that. Classical music, digital music, no good for us. Apps and games, not really. Software, again, not really. We're looking for physical products we can import from the Far East. DVD and Blu-ray, the same thing, no good. CDs and vinyl. So what this is doing is really making sure we don't have too much noise in our search terms, because this is all stuff that's going to come up that we have to discount. So if we can discount it large scale to begin with, it means only the stuff that's coming up, which is stuff that is relevant to us and is going to be of use. VHS, again, no use to us. Prime Video, no thank you. Amazon devices, nope. Large appliances as well. These are all going to be way too big, so we can discount those as well. So you get the idea. You can go through and really hone in on the type of categories that are going to be relevant to you, so it cuts out a lot of the noise before you even get started. So let's just say apply it on those for now. You can spend a bit more time doing that when you do it for yourself. And then we've got more filters here that we can click on. So this again gives us an opportunity to exclude the things that are not going to be any use. Weight, for example, we don't want things that are too heavy. It's going to cost a lot of money to ship over from the Far East. They're likely to be bigger, bulkier, and it means the general costs are going to be higher. So we want to exclude anything big and bulky, and we can do that by setting a maximum weight. Now, something to bear in mind, this is going to be in pounds. You might be able to change that in the settings somewhere, but just bear in mind it defaults to pounds. And if we said 3 pounds, for example, that's around about 1.5 kilos, just under 1.5 kilos. And I don't think you want to go over that, really. You probably could a little bit, but that just means the items are going to be relatively small and not too heavy. So that's a good way of excluding a lot of irrelevant products that are going to be no good to us. And we can do this with price as well. This is a really handy way of doing it. A minimum price is also important, because what we don't want is to have too much really cheap stuff. Because let's just say, for example, something that is coming up in the search is £5 or £6. Now, when you take away the Amazon fees of a few pounds on that item minimum, and then you take away the product cost to buy it and ship it into whatever country you're in, is going to be a couple of pounds. You're literally going to be left with nothing, probably pence, and if you're lucky, £1 or so. So by setting a minimum price, it means you're going to exclude all of the stuff that you're going to waste your time on, because you find an item actually that is selling well, has got a good demand and not too much competition, and you go all the way down that line researching it, spending time on it, only to find out that there's no money in it. There never was going to be any money in it because it's £6 retail. So by saying like a minimum of 10, even £15, if you use the very rough approximation of the Amazon fees, if you break it up into thirds and say at £15, the fees are going to be roughly a fiver, the cost is a fiver, gives you a fiver back. So that way, very, very roughly, you know you're going to be looking at least £5, which might be, I don't know, $7, something like that. So you can set your minimums to ensure you're not wasting too much time researching a product that isn't going to be any use for you later on down the line. The same goes for reviews as well. When you have a listing with loads and loads of reviews, it's going to be impossible or very, very difficult to break into a niche with items with loads of reviews, because they've got so much of a head start on you. They're always going to be listed over and above you. So it's an indication of competition. So let's just say if an item has 40, 50, say 50 reviews, for example, once you get past that, it's going to be very tough to break into those markets. And let's also put in sales as well, because this is going to determine how popular the item is and how often it's selling. And we don't want something that is selling 5 items or 6 items a month, for example, because it's just not going to be worth our time spending the time and effort bringing it in for something that's just dribs and drabs. So again, using this area here, we can say, well, we want at least 100 a month, maybe even more, maybe 150 a month. Because even at 150 sales a month, what's that? That's 5 sales a day based on 30 days in the month. So it's not a massive amount of sales there. So if we put a minimum of something like that, you can choose your own. If you want to make sure that you're only looking at the very most popular stuff, you can put that up to maybe 200 or 300, whatever you want. So let's leave the filters there for now, but that gives you a good idea of how you can really refine the filters to start broad, but really only give you products that are going to benefit you in the long run. So let's do find products now. So as you can see, after a couple of seconds, we've got the results, and across here you have all the data metrics with category, estimated sales, estimated revenue, bestseller rank, price, fees, your weight and number of sellers, and all that good stuff. And the idea at this stage, we've cast a net widely now, and just to have a look down through and see if there's anything that catches your eye. Just think in terms of niches and what could be a potentially good niche and what could turn into a portfolio of products that you could have additional items in the same niche, and just look through and see anything that you would find that might be useful. For example, here we've got a road hammock, single double camping lightweight portable parachute hammock for outdoor hiking, travel, backpacking. So he's certainly got all his keywords here. So with this, you've got camping as the main niche, but then you've got sub niches, for example, hiking, bicycle camping. There are some people that go out on for weekends on their bicycles and take their camping gear and directly go bike camping, for example, or even motorcycle camping. So you've got additional niches within main niches that could actually really make an interesting portfolio of products. You could have a whole plethora of motorcycle camping products that are designed to be lightweight and easy to fit in small spaces, like on motorcycle panniers. Then you'd have a whole set of additional keywords that will reduce your competition, but still with a great amount of sales. So just to get the inspirational juices flowing, looking through here, and let the data be your guide and let it guide you through, and just see where you end up. Because starting like this, you don't even need to know an idea, just somewhere to start to give you the inspiration to kick it off, and let the data take you where it will, and let it show you what the most profitable items are, what has the most demand, the most profit, and you can really let these filters dial in exactly the type of product that you want to sell. So when you found a few ideas that might be worth looking into further, then you can use this plus symbol over here that will add the item to the product tracker, which is kind of like your favorites list, where you can keep an eye on things over time, see how it develops, and you can come back to it, remove them at any one time. You can press the X button here to remove items from the search result, and you can do the same thing to remove it from the tracker. You've even got one button here to find a similar product on Alibaba. You can click through and it will bring up, in just a few seconds, it will bring up similar related products, which is a really handy little tool to quickly find similar looking products. You can get an idea of the unit cost and then so a better idea of your potential net profit. So once you spend a bit of time with the categories and the filters, you'll very quickly be able to refine this down to really finding only the hottest and most desirable products out there with the best profit. It really is worth just taking some time, experimenting and seeing what comes up, because you never know what rabbit hole it will lead you down into finding the perfect product to bring in that will allow you to establish a very nice private label portfolio of products that are giving you regular sales every single month. So let's just say we found a few items that we want to follow up with on Amazon and take a look further. We can just click on the title here and it will bring up the Amazon listing for us. And as you can see in the bottom left here, we have the AMZ Scout Pro browser extension. So once we're on the listing, we can click on that. And the browser extension is going to give us even more information. You've got the product score here, which I really love, because if you're not a massive data person, if you're not a fan of the figures, it will break it down and give you the information in human terms, which is really useful. It gives the product a score out of 10, and if you click on it, it will tell you why this has nearly got a perfect score. It'll say you'll have a great margin with this product, you'll be able to get decent sales, even with low review count. The listing is average quality. You can try and make a better listing to compete. In other words, there are things that the seller has missed out that will potentially give you a better opportunity to compete. And there's a big revenue opportunity. Okay, so it really breaks it down and gives it to you in layman's terms, so you don't have to be staring at a load of ones and zeros that, if you're not useful at examining data and understanding what that means, it's going to give you a much easier to understand breakdown of what's going on. And I love this. This is a really useful tool. So you've got all the data again, plus you've got product history. You can examine the sales and the rank and the price, and you can toggle these on and off to see the individual items or compare the two at once, which is really good. So it really is a great opportunity to discover niches and ideas that you never would have come across on your own if the data hadn't presented things to you. And even if you decide not to go into the food storage niche, it may actually give you something else related that will just spark your interest in a different niche, and you'll end up going down this long rabbit hole and discover some amazing products that could be virtually untouched by competition. So it's quite fun to see where you end up, and this tool is easy to navigate, it's easy to find interesting items, and certainly a great tool to have in your armory if you're an Amazon seller. So it definitely gets a big thumbs up from me. Check out the links below But don't take my word for it. Have a go yourself. There's a free trial available in the link down in the description below. See what you think for yourself and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Alrighty, that pretty much wraps it up for this video, guys. I hope you found it useful. Give me a thumbs up if you have. I would appreciate that. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to hit that bell notification icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. My name's Andy Lawrence and I will catch you on the very next video. Bye for now.